Are you tired of living a mediocre life? Are you ready to unlock your success so that you can achieve amazing things in your life? That sounds like a TV commercial. Okay, let me take you back to 6 years in the past in my own life. 6 years ago, I had a very fixed mindset instead of a growth mindset. So let's talk about the difference between having a growth mindset and a fixed mindset. So, 6 years ago and back in my life, I used to think that failing was not possible for me, right? Like, if I failed, it was the end of my world. Like, for me back then, failing was the worst thing that could ever happen in my life. So, I would, at all cost, try not to fail at anything, right? So, for example, I was a ballet dancer and I used to do gymnastics as well. And as soon as I felt like I wasn't going to achieve something good, I would just hide and go away and run because I was so afraid of going out and trying and failing that I would prefer to just hide in my home and not do what it takes to get better, right? So when we talk about failure, how is a growth mindset going to help you achieve success and live a better life and get fulfilled? Well, when we talk about failure in growth mindset, well, you see failure as something that is actually good for you. Because when you fail, when you go out and try something and fail, well, guess what? It's not the end of the world, and you're learning stuff when you fail, right? So, for example, when I made the decision to build an online business. I didn't even know how, but I made the decision. I'm going to do an online business. I remember my mom asking me, like, what are you going to do? Why don't you get a job, right? As a mechanical engineer, that's what you know, that's what you should be doing. And I was like, no, I want to go full into this. And she was like, what if you don't make it? What if you don't know what you're doing? What if you don't make it? I was like, well, the worst thing that could happen is that I don't try. I need to try. And if I fail at making money online, then I'll find something else. I'll try something. I'm not going to stop until I figure this out. So that's that. I think that was the first spark of my growth mindset igniting. I was like, for the first time in my life, I was not scared of failing. I was not scared of going full into something, even though I didn't know how to do it. I wasn't scared of failing. So that was the first spark of my growth mindset igniting. So from then on, I realized that to be able to grow, to be able to achieve success, to be able to go somewhere in life other than being stuck where I am in a place that I don't like, I need to get out of my comfort zone and be willing to fail. Because when we fail, we learn a lot. I've made a lot of mistakes in my entrepreneurial career. I've worked with people that didn't pay me. I worked with people that were not good people, right? So I learned how to create a contract, how to sign it before I started working. I learned how to charge money upfront before starting that job so that I don't work in vain and lose my time and energy, right? But if I hadn't gone through that process of failing and working with someone that didn't pay me, I would have never learned how to create a contract. I would have never learned how to protect myself and my clients from something bad happening, right? So every failure teaches us something. And that's part of that growth mindset, right? When you understand this, you will be able to take more risks, go for it, and achieve success. Okay. Now, think about this is an example I gave my students the other day. Think about Apple, right? Before the iPod, before the iPhone, have you ever heard of how many other products they launched and failed? A lot. They had a lot of products that launched and didn't sell much. Then they had to withdraw from developing it because it didn't work. And that happens with most of the big brands that we see. They have one product that boomed and it did really well, but behind that there's a lot of other failures, right? For example, Google, they had the Pixel, right? The phone Pixel. Like nobody even knows what that is anymore because it failed. They tried to do a smartphone, it failed. Okay, let's keep being a search engine, right? And they rock at it. So behind a success, there's a ton of failures. And to be able to reach that success, you have to fail a lot because it is very not usual that you launch something and from the first try it becomes a hit. It is really good. Think about musicians. How many songs did they have to create? How many songs did they have to sing before having that hit in the charts? A lot, right? Because that's how it works. It is insane to think that you will be able to launch something and achieve great success from the first try. That is insane. And people that think that will probably fail. Okay, so make sure that you understand that failure is part of the process. And from every failure comes a lot of learning and comes a lot of new opportunities. Okay, let's go back to comparing fixed mindset to growth mindset. A fixed mindset, that one that doesn't let you grow, that one that keeps you stuck, is thinking that what you already know is it, right? I see a lot of people that say, well, I already started this career, there's nothing else for me, right? Well, I used to think like that. I used to be like, well, I studied mechanical engineering for 4 years of my life. I will be a mechanical engineer for the rest of my life. And that kept me stuck for 5 years in jobs that I didn't like. I didn't want to be there, but I was a mechanical engineer. I worked so hard to be one. Then that's it. That's my destiny for the rest of my life. Well, guess what? That is a very narrow mindset. And when we understand that doesn't matter what we put in order to achieve something, we can move on and learn more. We can become someone new, right? We can expand our knowledge always at all times. We never stop learning. Those people that think like I am an expert and I don't need to learn anything else, well, they're wrong. You can always keep learning and keep getting better. And not only keep getting better at what you do, but you can also make the decision to completely shift. I remember when I started my online business and I was going to a lot of conferences. One thing that really struck me, that really ingrained into my mind, is that there was a speaker saying 90% of all the businesses funded in a year fail, right? And most of it's because they're not willing to pivot or change quickly. Because when someone starts a business, it's probably because they have a project that they love and they put a lot of effort into it. And then when they realize that that product, that project is not selling, is not converting, people don't like it, they don't blame the product, they blame everybody else. Instead of saying, okay, what happened, why is my product not good enough for people, what do I need to change in order to make it good for other people, they say like, no, they're wrong, my product is amazing and it's going to sell, you're just not the right buyer, right? So it's important to understand that our audience is the one that has the right thing to say. So when we have a project, a baby that we want to nurture and we want to see it grow, but it doesn't have the potential or it doesn't have what it takes to be loved by other people, we need to pivot, we need to change, we need to move towards something that will actually be enjoyable by other people. So here's my story. What happened to me? I I spent 6 months of my life creating an online course. It was called the Catapult Academy because somebody told me that the way to make money online was to create an online course. But I had no experience. I didn't know anything back then. I had read Jab Jab Right Hook by Gary Vee and Dot-Com Secrets by Russell Brunson. That's it. So what I did was I absorbed all that knowledge from those books and put it into an online course. And then it took me so long to record it and create the curriculum, right? Like I was putting all of my energy into that course. But then when I was going to sell it, somebody asked me like, what kind of experience do you have with what you're teaching? And I was like, I don't have any experience at all. So I was teaching people how to do social media. I was teaching people how to do funnels. And I had no social media expertise. I had no funnel expertise. So instead of saying like, I spent so much energy and time into this course, I need to sell it no matter what, I realized that I was not the expert. I was not in the position to sell that course. So I decided to pivot. I decided to change and say, you know what? I'm going to go get the experience. I'm going to go learn and actually get results. And then I'll come back and sell that course. It took me about 4 years to go get results, get clients, learn. And I'm still learning. I learn every single day. But now I know I have the experience and expertise to be able to teach other people what I do, right? But it was that growth mindset of not marrying to a project that I had already put a lot of energy into and be able to pivot when I needed to. Okay. Now it's very different from a shiny object syndrome that you pivot a lot and then you can't concentrate on one thing, right? There's a balance that you need to achieve. So this growth mindset of I need to change what I'm doing in order to get the best results possible allowed me to become an expert, allowed me to nowadays have a beautiful course where I teach people to do what I do, right? And they get the best experience ever. And they get to learn from an actual expert that has done what I'm teaching, right? So when you think about change, it is okay to change. It is okay to change as long as that change points you towards your big goals and your big dreams. All right. So, my question to you today is what are you doing to improve that growth mindset and stop being like everybody else that has a fixed mindset, a narrow mindset that stays stuck where they are even if they don't like it? Okay, what are you doing today to grow, to be a better person, to get out of your comfort zone and achieve your dreams? What are you doing today? Let me know in the comments and hit the follow button. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.